And we are back here once again to Alumni Field at Bill Stewart Memorial Stadium, where the Magnolia Blue Eagles have punched their ticket to the West Virginia Single A State Football Championship game with a 13-7 victory over the Moorefield Yellow Jackets. And this is a question I asked Coach Sims about last week's game. I'll ask you now. Did the Blue Eagles win, or did we just survive?
Well, I mean, today, the thing I think I said this a couple games ago, Magnolia had opportunities to put this game away, and they just didn't. And then came back to haunt them here, especially when you have a 4th and 1. The kids scored through there for 55 yards and a touchdown. But this is a very good football team. It's Moorefield. I mean, their starting 11 on defense is probably the best we've seen all year.
Yeah, that is. And they were well coached. They were well schooled. And anything that Magnolia had done well during this year, you could see they were prepared for. Magnolia didn't complete a screen pass. They only really tried it once or twice. Their outside running game, they always had somebody there. Just every little bit that Magnolia needed to do. Moorefield was there. Just couldn't come up with enough answers to come out on top.
All year we've been talking about Magnolia's guards, and they were just stood up there. These outside linebackers, Schoonover, Jenkins, and they just came up, and they weren't going to let Magnolia take that position there. They hit them, and they were able to shuck off their blocks and make the tackles. And Magnolia in the first 3 quarters we felt pretty confident. I don't know about you, but I felt pretty confident.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went to that unbalanced line, double tight, and they had that back right behind the unbalanced line and started giving the ball to Schoonover. And they were able to move that football a lot better than they did in the first half.
Oh, yeah, they most definitely did. And again, statistically here real quick, totally unofficial by my count, Tyler Anderson, 14 carries, 152 yards on the day, but of those 152 yards, one of it was on a run of 53 yards, and then they had a run of 61. So there's 114 of those 52 yards. So the other 12 carries only got him 38 yards. Chase Street, 12 carries, 11 yards on the day. That's where it was really tough getting him to the outside against that Moorefield defense where he's been so strong. Preem, 9 carries for -8 yards, throwing in the quarterback sacks, but he had both Magnolia touchdowns, and Dylan Parsons 2 carries for 3. So 37 carries, 158 yards. Hard, tough, earned yards there for the Blue Eagles. Passing, Nick Preem, 2 of 6 for 30 yards. Again, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. The Blue Eagles only with 3 penalties for 30 yards and only picked up 8 first downs, which really shows you how good a field position that they had and the big runs that they had and the fact that they really didn't get that ball moving a whole lot in the second half.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyler's stats here, but unfortunately for Magnolia, the 61-yard game, they weren't able to score in that drive. They got the ball down to the 10-yard line, ended up missing a field goal when the score was 13-0. They could have made it 16-0, and then Moorefield's down 2 scores and 2 2-point conversions. But Magnolia, their defense once again came up big when they had to. I mean, you have the stats there. I mean, just Schoonover, had the one big 55-yard run, but besides that, Magnolia pretty much bottled them up. And I'm sure Coach Sims is going to preach to his kids, you got to finish drives. And Chase, 12 carries, 11 yards, and I believe I said it before the game. This type of field will affect a runner like Chase more than say Tyler Anderson, who's running straight up and straight up the straight line there, going up the middle. Whereas Chase likes to get out there and make a real quick cut, maybe a little jump stop there and things like that. He was able to do that, but then once again, Moorefield did a lot of good things on defense to stop Chase from being able to get that big run. And hopefully next week, in the last 2 weeks, we watched football games on fields that weren't ideal, and I think Magnolia going up to Wheeling, playing on a fast turf like that, I think we're going to surprise some people with the weapons they actually do have that they haven't been able to use the last couple of weeks because the field negated any options of going that way.
Yeah, even in the rain, the turf is still a little bit better footing than what you're going to get out here on a grass field.